Hey, it's Carrie here, Get Your Vibe Right, and let's talk about what release work really does for you. So first, what do I mean by release work? Well, this is where we release old emotional hurts, traumas, we release old limiting beliefs, we release old energetic imprints and patterns and programs that are preventing you from living the life you really want to live. So here's how I think about this, is that we live in a law of attraction universe. That means that like attracts like. We also live in a multiverse, and there's a theory within the multiverse theory that is called the many worlds theory. And the many worlds theory says that whatever could potentially happen does happen. That timeline, that outcome exists somewhere in the field, and all we have to do is line up with it in order to get what we want, in order to get the life we want. But here's why release work matters. We're going to go back to the law of attraction. We will always line up with a future timeline that we are vibing with, okay? So if we're still vibing at an old level of hurt, pain, betrayal, anxiety, whatever it is that we have not yet processed and released from our past experiences, is where we're going to end up again and again and again. And I know you can relate to this, myself included. We have all played out the same types of relationship dynamics until we shift something. We've all had the same run-ins with people or bosses or coworkers in an environment of work where we're creating the same dynamic over and over. And the reason is we have not yet released or neutralized that old energy from that old job or that old relationship, or we haven't changed that old belief about how things work out for us. But once we do, we have the possibility to line up with a new outcome and a new timeline. So here's how I think about this. I'm standing here now in my present now space reality, and there are an infinite number of doors open to me. These doors lead down different timelines of future possibilities for me based on my actions and decisions. But not really, because it's really based on where I am at vibrationally. And if I'm still holding on to old hurts and traumas and beliefs, many of those doors are going to be locked. I simply cannot open that door and walk down that timeline. I am holding a belief that says I cannot be, do, or have what is on the other side of that door. So release work helps us identify the limiting beliefs, the old emotional patterns, the programming that we have that keeps those doors locked. Right? So this is why it's so important to do a little bit of introspection, a little bit of self-exploration, and say, why do I keep repeating these same patterns? Why do I keep living out the same experiences over and over? The answer is probably in there, and if you can't find it on your own, you can always turn to somebody like me who is an energy healer, or a myriad of different modalities that you can do on your own to break through and release the old energy that keeps you lining up with similar timelines, with similar outcomes. So once we're able to shift our energy, get rid of the old, and bring in new possibilities, all of those doors open up for us, unlock. Now I have the ability to walk through those doors that were previously completely unavailable to me. And the very cool thing is also many of those doors that go down tracks that you don't want to have, that recreate old experiences, they lock. So you can no longer line up with that energy. That's what it means to be in a universe that is dominated by the law of attraction. And if you're repeating old cycles and you're recreating the same dynamic in relationship or in abundance or in work opportunities, all you need to do is find a way to identify the old and release it. Once that energy is no longer in you, you can no longer line up with that timeline. So you can use this little mental game to think about What doors of opportunity do I want to open to me? And how am I preventing myself from opening those doors? What are the limiting beliefs that I hold? What are the old patterns I keep replaying? What are the old energies or emotions that I'm holding on to that keep me from lining up with that future me I really want to be? Okay, so this is how release work is so wonderful for us. You can work with a practitioner like me. If you want to work with me specifically, you'll find information down below in the notes of this video on how to do that. But you can also do this through things like EFT, tapping, if you've ever heard of that. If you haven't, you can Google it, right? You can do this through working with Byron Katie's The Work, also a free resource available to people to be able to do. I am a huge fan of Abraham Hicks. They have tons of processes that help us line up with new energies so we can create new outcomes. So there are many, many resources out there where you can do this on your own. Journaling, meditation, just raising your vibration in general is going to help you line up with better outcomes, but it might not keep you from repeating old patterns. So once you identify how you got the pattern, then you can start doing the release work that will line you up with new doors of opportunity. And that's what I'm all about here at Get Your Vibe Right. If you like this, you might want to explore some of my other videos. You might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel called Get Your Vibe Right, of course. And we will be on this journey together. We can explore more and more options for you to really create the life you want and live your best life.